We are content creators that also influence,
Yeah.
but also educate.
I actually don't really like the term content creator either,
Why?
which is funny because like we named the show that, but SEO.
Today, we are getting into our content creator tag, right? It's kind of like
Yes.
the old like YouTube
Well, we're going
name
old
for it.
school.
Old school.
When we were first like coming up with this idea and when we were first setting up the YouTube and stuff, I was typing in content creator confessions into YouTube and I kept seeing this tag video that other content creators would
Mhm.
do. And so selfishly, I want to do this so we can start ranking in that search, get the SEO.
I love
Yeah.
this. I love a search rank strategy.
Yeah. But there also are pretty good questions, and I think this is a good starting place if anyone is new here and wants to just kind of like learn our philosophy on
Mhm.
this or get a little primer.
I feel
So
like it's also very the confessions part of content
yeah,
creator confessions, like almost like Spitfire round.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So
Kick it off.
do you want to get into it? Okay, so the
Yeah.
first question
First
is,
question.
how do you feel about the term influencer, and do you feel you are one?
Ooh, I would say influencer is definitely the industry term.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever called myself that. My friends will call me it for fun
Yeah.
because they know that, again, it's like the industry term. But I think honestly, I didn't even get called it until like 2 years in,
Yeah.
and it was via email.
Oh.
And it was like from a work thing. We're like, we are working with influencers in
Ooh.
Michigan, and we would like to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Because then, they dove into like micro, nano
Yeah. Yeah.
influencers, like what makes an influencer kind of deal.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to be called like, I'm a nano influencer. Like that doesn't make you feel very powerful.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like, when did it
I
start, I guess?
I feel like this one is a sign of the times a little bit in that that was a very common term
Oh, okay.
years
Interesting. Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And I think even like people like to call I don't think I was ever super comfortable with that term. I don't know.
It feels sterile.
Yeah, it
Like not
feels
friendly. I don't know.
and kind of like one
Above.
dimensional. Like
Yeah.
I've always felt like I do a lot more than like I'm not just like a, fit tea girl. Like no offense if that's your thing, but I think that is what I think of when I think of influencer. Like you are paid to post Instagram pictures
Yeah.
and paid to look hot. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I think of as an influencer. I think of like what most people in my world do is there's a bit of it's a bit elevated. Maybe this is me being like elitist about it, but I just think
Mhm.
like I'm a business owner, right? I do services for
Yeah.
people and I create content and I do this and I'm creating like editorial content, like
What's the word
shows,
that you use that I think is so great that like you're somebody who's like,
like an educator.
yeah, educator, but you're like, I'm the go-to source for this. I'm
Mm.
trying to be the
Oh,
go-to auth-
authority, like authoritative content.
yes,
Yeah.
being the authority versus
Yeah.
like the influencer.
Yeah, I just think to be fair, maybe that's mean of me to even say about like the fit tea girl because it's like I don't know, you don't say that about like an author. You don't call them an influencer, but that's what they are. They're
Yeah.
influencing, they're sharing their opinions. I don't know. It's kind of like I just think it's a little bit cheap, like that term. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think nowadays most people would call themselves content creators. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that term has really taken over.
I feel more colorful and vibrant when I say that.
Yeah.
Even though I am influencing technically, because like even
Yeah.
at a small scale, I'll share like a restaurant in Detroit. And
Yeah.
people say like, "Oh, I checked out that restaurant that you
Yeah.
went to." That's me influencing
Yeah.
technically. But maybe the end all be all of it is we are content creators that also influence,
Yeah.
but also educate, and also like
Yeah.
all these prongs kind of come up from the content creator.
I actually don't really like the term content creator either,
Why?
which is funny because like we named the show that, but SEO. But I just again I think like okay, so you're a content creator if you write a book, if you shoot a movie, if you take photos, if
Yeah.
you make videos, like no, you're a videographer or a writer or a
Yes.
filmmaker or a podcaster or a comedian. Like
True.
why like content creator is somehow like a rung below. It's like a way to like differentiate, even though to me, yeah, you're like an entertainer
As the Google says, which I'm very proud of, internet personality.
or that. Yeah. But I would
What would
say,
you like? Like, what would you in your golden world? Like, what would you like to be
I mean,
called?
it is hard because I do a lot of different things. And I think that's why content creator sticks because it's like a catch-all.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think I'm a writer. I think I'm a videographer. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a filmmaker because I don't have
Yeah.
film out yet, but I am like I shoot video. Um, I'm a producer. I produce multiple podcasts. I'm an editor. You know, like I don't know. I just think content creator is like, hey guys, here's my iPhone. Click. I'm hot. Bye. Like that's what I get in my head. And again, maybe that's my own like judgment,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I'll go on to the next question,
Okay.
but
Because I
there.
could rant for an
I know.
hour about
I was
this.
like, we could go on this one for a bit. I will say though, one thing that did
Uh,
get me on the terms of like naming,
yeah.
and maybe everyone can comment on like what you like to be called in that space, because I think like
Yeah.
together we might be able to actually find a one or two word phrase that can is a catch-all better.
Yeah.
But Instagram, you can select like a category that you
Hmm.
are, and they have digital creator,
Yeah.
and beforehand they have video creator. I
Oh,
chose video creator just
right.
because I was only doing reels at the time. I
Right.
do post some statics, but like not
Yeah.
many. But now they've switched it to just be reels creator,
Oh, I don't
and I
like
feel
that.
very,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
hate
very some
that.
type of way about it because I'm like, well, I'm more than that. So now I'm
Yeah,
like, do I switch it to digital? But as we all talk about with back end stuff, if I switch that, does it switch something on the back
I
end?
know.
I'm too scared to
I
switch it. So I'm
know.
like, I'm a Rails
You're
creator, I
trapped.
guess. I'm trapped. Number two was, how did you decide to become a content creator?
I have always created content
Mhm.
since the dawn of the internet. No, since I was old enough to get on the
Since the
internet.
first dot com,
Yeah.
I've been creating everything. But really,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally like live journal, Zanga. I mean, we both did our stories, so maybe I won't spend too long on this. I'll link those in the cards. We both did like a
Oh yeah,
full
we did a
story of how we
full
got into
story.
it, but it's just always been natural for me. I did it before I knew you could make money, and I just have always found it as a good way to express myself and
Yeah,
meet people.
that's cute. I like that. I like that.
What about you?
I I always did the social. Me and you grew up in the internet age of
Mhm.
like life before the internet, with the internet coming in and
Yeah.
all the fun that came with that.
Wait, what year did you graduate high school?
2011.
Okay, I'm 2009.
Yeah.
So like
So
similar
pretty much around the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
Because like what well, I have older siblings too that
Yeah.
got me onto everything versus
Mhm.
some people that are like my year and
Or the
above
oldest, yeah.
don't have the same
Yeah.
they did not have older siblings, are the oldest, so
Yeah.
they had a different kind of upbringing. I was always in the social realm, but then one thing that I did get was very blessed. I got Photoshop. Somehow my brother got it
Yeah.
through like his school, through high school or
Uh-huh.
something. They were like they offered a version of it. I don't know if it was like the latest and greatest or anything, but I
Yeah.
got to use it and I remember I started creating stuff on it,
Yeah.
and that's when it kind of started for me. So I feel like, and then videos, my dad was always big into like shooting videos
Yeah.
when we were growing up and stuff. And I always really enjoyed it because it was so cool to like recap a party
Yeah.
when I could watch myself at like 2 years old. Like that's wild.
Yeah.
So I actually started it to categorize my life.
Yeah.
Um, and to look back on it. Even now, I was just watching old videos of mine from 7 years ago,
Aw.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the reason why I did it. And then getting to be creative
Hmm.
and getting to do that and actually make money from it was became the goal. And now
Yeah.
that it's here, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. For sure. For
This is
sure.
amazing.
Yeah, watch our full stories if you're new here. I'll link both of
Yeah, I feel like
those.
you get to know us a little bit,
Yeah.
on the personal side of things.
Yeah. What's your experience with knowing other creators in life, good or bad? It's kind of a
Ooh.
broad question.
Okay, so full disclosure, there's this one. Her name's Latasha. I
I heard she really sucks.
I
She's like
hate
so mean.
her.
Meanest creator in Michigan.
She is the meanest right now. Life with you has been amazing. So
Aw.
finding one great friend
Mhm.
slash creator friend out of it, I think is so possible. And I think that sometimes too, we do want friends for specific things in our life.
Yeah.
So I think that like having that void constantly being filled
Yeah.
is one of the greatest like life blessings, I think.
Yeah.
Especially now, like it's just wild.
Yeah, it's
It's been
fun.
you were already going before I started.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, it's been like 4 or 5 years. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, like that's a lot. I mean, you think about our lifetime, that is a large chunk of life.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Um, so overall, my experience has been really good. And I would say that I have not met too many online ones. I made a couple friends in the area that are like, that I see every now and then that are, it's really nice just having people to relate to.
Yeah,
And I
for
think that's
sure.
always like the greatest joy of connecting with other creators.
Yeah.
And then of course, and then the same type of creator as you,
Hmm.
because there's some creators that are different that I don't think I would blend as well with.
Yeah, I think that's what I would say to it is I think there definitely are people who are in it. You can always tell who's in it for like
Yeah.
my opinion, the right reasons and the wrong reasons. Like, I think if you actually, like, we both talked about how I loved Photoshop. I loved writing and talking on message boards. Like, that's a genuine love. We weren't getting paid to do those things.
Hmm.
Obviously, yes, we accept money for it now and we have to because we're adults and we have to like fund our lives. But I genuinely think both you and I would be creating in some way, even if it was just for fun, even if it was
Yeah.
just you're painting pictures or writing or
Yeah.
making music
My
for
grandpa was a
fun.
painter and I loved seeing his work.
Yeah.
And I wasn't actually into drawing and
Yeah.
art
Right.
in like very much
Yeah,
of
and like
it.
you've made
So
music and like I don't
music.
think it's been for money. You know, like it's been a
Yeah.
creative pursuit. And so yeah, I think at the end of the day if you were going to say you were a creator, you should enjoy creating
Yeah.
something. You can always tell when you meet somebody who's like clearly just there for like the fame or the money. You know, who's like
Yeah.
very kind of because there's not that element of community, there's not that level of curiosity like, "Oh, what do you do? Oh, that's so cool." Like you're working on a documentary, like they're like curious and excited about those
Yeah.
things versus like they look at your follower count and they're like, okay, on to the next person,
Right.
you know?
It's
So,
what's funny about the creative space is that it does end up creating spaces where the nerds thrive.
yes.
And I think that's what we like,
Yeah.
even like when it comes to people who become actors,
Yeah.
like they were probably that person in high school that kept showing up late
Yeah.
because they were staying up late doing a
Yeah.
production of some show in their community theater.
Yep. Or a
And
way out in
like,
an audition
and no one
and
understood them, you know what I
yeah.
mean, kind of vibe. And then granted, those are like single opportunities that like, or single like situations.
Yeah.
But I think content creator has a little bit of that of like, it's the people who loved just
Yeah.
nerding out and making funny dance videos in their
Yes.
room. Now people get paid, some of the biggest ones, millions of
Yeah.
dollars to dance in their room.
Yeah. For sure.
Like it is something for those people that
Yeah.
have that little bit of like a spark,
Yeah.
I guess, too.
For sure.
This one is regard to brand deals and sponsorships. I'm gonna skip ahead one. Have you
Okay.
had an experience with a brand that left a bad taste in your mouth?
Huh. How much time do we have?
Do you got an hour? No.
I'm sure I've talked about some on other episodes. I'm trying to think of like the ones in particular that I've referenced. I mean, I had one from this brand. This was decently recent.
Mhm.
They like weren't happy with the amount of, views and signups the
Mhm.
video was getting. And it was hard because I understand that,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm a business owner, but I also understand how influencer marketing works.
Yeah.
And that if you are paying creators as like ad units, like you're expecting for it to have the same effectiveness as a Facebook ad or Google ad or and to be like down funnel
Yeah.
basically, I think you're doing it wrong. It's about relationship building. And my most successful sponsors, like the brands who have like gotten the most results from me, have invested in relationships, have invested in like long-term and or you talk about this a lot, like paid ad usage
Yeah.
rights, so they can truly use it as an ad unit. And this brand was expecting me to post once and like every single one of my 200,000 followers to sign up for this thing. And I'm like, that's not how it works.
That's
Like,
not how it works.
yeah, and I think they said some really mean things and made me feel really bad. And I'm like,
Darn.
I did my job. Like I did what you paid me for. We didn't
Yeah.
sign like a an affiliate agreement or a commission type of agreement. If that's what you were going after, you should have suggested
Yeah.
that. So that was bad. But what made me feel better about it is I slash worse, somebody else that I'm connected with on LinkedIn, she actually posted about them doing the same thing to her. And
Oh.
so it did make me take the personalization out of it a
Yeah.
little bit, but it did obviously I like this person. So I felt bad for her then.
Mhm.
And it made me sad in general, but it did make me feel better that it wasn't like just me. That's just the kind of they just don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, we wear our work hearts on our sleeves a
mhm.
little bit,
Yeah.
which is something I think is it's a little bit tricky when you're in the brand space because you do have to be okay with that rejection, that
Yeah.
talking like the business side of things, which can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I haven't had one that left like a bad taste in my mouth, but to kind of like speak to everyone's hearts and relate to them of when you do get brand deals, sometimes it's very businessy.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of hard because it's like you want to do a video that feels very you. And when brands let me be me, I just had one. It had 150,000 organic
Mm-hmm.
views.
Wow.
That's a lot for just not even paying for it. That would be a lot in the paid space. Um, and so when you let me be me, you get all the
Mm-hmm.
benefits of it. But then some brands, and it's not even the team, it's not even the people, it's not their fault, but it's just they are a little bit more conservative
Yeah.
and they want you to be a little bit more information based.
Yeah.
Um, then it can be a little bit, it can be hard
Yeah.
because you're kind of making content, but it doesn't feel like you as much. But I guess some of those brands, they do let me they at least let me be me.
Yeah.
I guess as me as the marketer, it'd be cool if like every brand campaign just
Yeah.
let me like make make whatever the content was and
Yeah.
like they went with it
Yeah.
kind of deal versus like sometimes they do have to like throw in this one like fact that I'm like, well, engagement might decrease.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Honestly.
That's crazy that the brand though came back and kind of like put you down.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with people expressing frustration with a situation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess whenever it comes to like putting someone down,
Yeah.
it's already work.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to add more to it.
I honestly blacked out like the exact words, but yeah,
Yeah.
they basically were like, almost insinuating that like I was kind of like a fraud or something. I'm
Right. That's what I
like,
was gonna say. Like,
no, it's that my audience is smart and they need some time to research
yeah.
things. Slash, not all of my audience is gonna be interested in the same thing, like that, like don't.
There's a fact out there where it's like people actually don't end up converting until like the third or fourth time they actually see the
Yeah, I
ad.
think minimum,
Minimum. Yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
Yeah,
The
I feel.
average, right. So like
Think about TV. Think about how many times, even in one sitting, like I don't really even watch TV or like streaming that much, but whenever I do, I'm like, why am I getting the same like Venus razor ad 5 times
right.
in a 2 hour sitting,
And then you go to CVS and you see Venus
And
as
then
a
I
brand,
buy it.
and then
Yep. And then I'm like,
you're
okay.
like, oh, I guess I have nothing else to go off of with these other ones.
Yeah.
Might as well buy Venus, you know?
Yeah. So it is weird that I think influencer marketing for some reason has like a different set of rules.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another.
They'll all learn eventually, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone
It
will.
is it is new. It's a new
Yeah, it's
industry.
still new. I think the brands will learn what actually works. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, I thought social media was well into the game when I started my first job, and then they were like, I think we should be on Facebook. You think? It's been 8 years since Facebook's been around. Like, and
Yeah.
you just now think you should make a Facebook page?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like kind of that vibe. And I
Yeah.
think we'll see that as time goes on.
Yeah.
Too.
For sure. Okay. How do you deal with negative comments?
I cry. No.
I contemplate ending my
No,
channel.
if you are new, if you watch some of the older podcast episodes, you'll hear about Latasha and I have very different comment experiences. But I think that I'm learning a bit in doing this podcast about YouTube, and it's almost like people just tend to care more, I think,
Mhm.
which is actually very, on the flip side, you get very, you hear people's stories, so you almost get that positive with
Yeah.
YouTube. But YouTube's where I've actually received negative comments more than anything.
Mm.
And I think TikTok a little bit now,
Mhm.
only on like the super popular ones because there's like thousands of
Yeah.
comments. So obviously one or two is going to be like, hey, maybe try this. But they're not really even negative
Yeah.
sometimes. They're more so just like commenting something stupid or
Yeah.
I will say this is a big relate. And I think this is something I actually really wanted to say on this podcast, and I'm glad we have this platform to share
Mhm.
it on. I did a brand deal video, and somebody had said, "Get your coin."
Mm.
I don't get too serious sometimes, but I'm gonna look directly into the camera for this.
Okay.
Would you rather that brand? This is like, just if you feel any type of way about like your creator getting money for something, would you rather that company give $10,000 to one of the major platforms, Meta, Amazon, because they're gonna give it to it. They
Yeah.
will give that 10,000 or 5,000 or 2,000, whatever amount they're paying to this creator. They're
Mhm.
just gonna give it to a paid ad on those platforms. Or do you want to go into the entity of content that makes you laugh, that
Yeah.
educates you, that does other things? Like, I can understand from a comparison point of view, people might get mad.
Yeah.
That like, hey, they're just making a video
Mhm.
and they're making money. I get that way sometimes, like deep
Yeah.
down. I'm like, oh gosh, it would have been so cool to just make a video, try on outfits and make money from it.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the back end sense about it of like it's either going to go to a creator that you like, a individual small business,
Yeah.
or it's going to go to Jeff Bezos's pocket.
Hmm.
Which like love those big companies for some convenience they give me, but like
Yeah.
you probably want to go into your small business creators, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think if people thought about us as small businesses more, they might have more of that like even if it's not the greatest one and
Hmm.
maybe like they felt weird about the messaging.
Yeah.
You know good and well, like I guess maybe you don't know that brands are going to look at that comment and
Yeah.
gauge that creator's performance based on that. So if you do post something negative, it actually does hurt them. So
Yeah.
you're actively hurting their chances at being able to make more content and sustain their life with that.
Yeah.
And that's all that I'm gonna
I
say.
I would 100% agree,
Yeah.
honestly. To be honest, I get a very small amount of
Yeah. It's
like
really small.
you suck, you're ugly kind of comments, and even when I
So
get those,
harsh.
it's like, come on, I'm 34 years old, like I don't care. Like,
It's like playground talk.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
In a way.
Like grow up. Like to be that
Yeah.
pathetic, honestly, I honestly pity those
Yeah,
people.
you really
If
can.
you wake up and the only sense of human connection you get is
Or
telling
power
someone
that
they're
you get
ugly
is
on
from
the
that.
internet,
Yeah.
you have a very sad life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I that doesn't bother me at all. I think it's weird. I obviously like it's not like, oh, I love this, but it's I don't take any of that to heart.
Mm.
But I would agree. I have gotten comments from people being like, oh, Latasha, I thought you used this tool because I'm doing a sponsorship with another tool,
Yeah.
or just things like that. And I'm like, dude, like, can you just can
Can you just give me a break?
you just ignore it for if you like it? Because it's like, you know, we have to earn money to do like this. We're recording on a Monday. It's a work day
Day.
at a studio that I pay rent for.
Yes.
Like I get it. I guess we could do it at a more minuscule level, but then people would complain because the quality is not good. And oh, I can't hear you. Your microphone sucks, blah, blah, blah. So it's like if you want, I'm sorry. If you want like content
Yes.
that's at a certain level and that's frequent, you post all the time.
Yes.
Like we have to make money from it. Okay. So I don't know
I
how else
love
to
the
say
tone of this. I
it.
love the tone of this because it is very like, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm sorry.
you gotta.
Yeah.
And obviously, people listening have been leaving great
Of
comments.
course,
And
we're
like,
not talking to you
not you
guys
specifically.
with
Um,
intensity.
but just like, hey, be defenders. I have
Yeah.
one of the best things that's ever happened
Mm.
is I did a Michigan accent video on YouTube. Somebody was like, oh, I didn't realize the Michigan accent was so gay sounding. And literally, somebody went into the comments
Yeah.
and defended me.
Good.
And I was like, that
Yeah.
the little like 7-year-old kid in me was really healed.
I do love that. And I do whatever makes you feel. I'm not asking people to be warriors for me
No,
here,
not by any means.
but it does always warm my heart when somebody else, because I'm like, when somebody writes something petty and one of my amazing audience members comes to bat for me, I'm like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So anyway, yeah.
One of the things too was that I made a video, and the way I talked about it, in the video I actually said it reverse.
Yeah.
People could have read me for filth,
Yeah.
but the video ended up getting like 50,000 views, and everybody in the comments was like, "Hey, I think you reversed it, but I love the video, and I got exactly what you
Yeah.
said." Like it's like they were like having that kind of
Yeah.
that conversation with me.
Wait, I do have a question though before
yeah.
we move on. What do you do though? Like, what's your kind of escalation plan or whatever? Like, do you delete comments? Do you mute them? Do you respond? Like, I think this might be helpful for people.
Yeah, that actually is a really good point to bring up. So on like the brand videos, I will like if there's two that are just like the if there's like unrelated, just being rude, I will hide it.
Yeah.
But there has been times where somebody like just like made a comment about something that was maybe like slight criticism
Yeah.
that I just answered.
Yeah.
And honestly, I very much will just I tend to not I don't want to make that the tip though.
Yeah.
I tend to just ignore them.
Yeah.
All in
Yeah.
all.
Right.
I think that's the best thing to do because it's kind of like in PR you learn this a little bit of if you I mean I guess that's not really PR strategy in a way, but it is like just ignore if you give it attention, you're giving it worth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worthless.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to just ignore it, I think, personally. Because people are just going to
Such a
say
big person. So mature, so, yeah, well adjusted. That's nice.
Sometimes I vent to you about it. Or like,
Yeah.
can you believe this? Like someone said
Yeah.
this, like what give? Or like my mom, I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm kind of bummed. But yeah, you just can't read into it too much. Because
Yeah.
there's gonna get to a point too where like there's just so many.
Yeah.
Or like you're like even like celebrities, they should not be reading anything. Because
Yeah.
people have no context of who they are
Hmm.
or what they're doing.
When you get so big, and I'm not saying for us, I'm saying like
No, but
celebrities.
looking at it even on like a smaller scale.
Yeah. But when you get so big, they start to dehumanize you.
Yeah.
You know, I always think that about big celebrities, even though whatever, I'm not trying to defend any of them. I'm sure there's good and bad things about all of
Yeah.
them, but like the way people talk about them is like as if they have no feelings just because they're rich. It's
And
kind
as
of
if you
wild.
know them. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know they're themselves recorded.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
not as real as it's gonna get, trust me.
I I don't often delete comments. My rule is like if it contains like a slur or something
Right, that's the
inflammatory.
ones that I like, I
Yeah,
was saying, like,
not just
yeah,
for me, but just because I know that can be incredibly upsetting for my audience to see if it's about anybody,
yeah.
whether it's, whatever about me or somebody else, I'll delete it. Um, and then if it's rude, it depends. Sometimes I'm sassy back. Sometimes I'm gonna be honest, it
It's
just feels
fun
good.
sometimes to reply
Yeah.
back, I think, and fight
And
for
or if it
yourself.
yeah, or if it can be teachable. Because I have had people say things like about brand deals, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, like this is my full-time job. And they're like, oh wow, well, I didn't know. Like you can't
Yeah.
actually like have a teachable
Yeah, I think that's
moment.
being even the bigger person of like
Mhm.
using it as a time to be like, hey, like we're doing on this podcast, of
Yeah.
like, hey, this is actually how it works.
Yeah. And
You know?
obviously I'm not like, screw you. Like, you do it in a respectful way back. But I'll say another quick tip if you want to be sassy, like when somebody is like the gay voice thing or
Yeah.
just something freaking so rude, write a comment back and delete it. Like, don't send it.
Yeah.
It feels so good to like type it out
Yep.
and be like, you know what?
I don't need to vent. I don't need to
They're
vent.
they're not even worth it. They're
Yeah.
not even worth me pressing send.
Yeah.
Like it gives the same feeling. It's like writing a letter to somebody,
Yeah,
like
and
if
then
you
just
break
like
up with them or if
throwing
they
it out.
died or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same kind of energy.
Overall, too, I've only had to like hide, I would say like over the past 5 years, probably like 7 to 10 comments.
Yeah.
Like it's really not. I think if people are scared to get into it because they might get all this
Yeah,
negative
don't
backlash, you'll get way more positive than you will negative,
100%.
I think.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about being a content creator? Although you're like triggered. The
Don't call me
content.
that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm a producer,
Yeah.
a documentary
Yeah.
filmmaker.
I mean, I would say it is the creation part.
Yeah.
Like I always say this, even on my worst days when I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this brand video due and I've got to do this. And I'm literally doing like what I went to school for, which is play with cameras,
Mhm.
talk to a camera. Hey, like okay, I would say actually my top favorite thing is when I get to work with other creators, like stuff like this, when I went to go shoot my documentary, when it's like this is so cool. Like I get to choose my colleagues,
Mhm.
hand pick them,
Yeah.
and
Not thrown into a
yeah,
table of them that you didn't pick.
be friends. Like,
No.
my friend Dee was just here. We had a great time at the studio, like recording content and just like hanging out slash doing work. Like it's like a really cool, I think that is my favorite. Obviously, I can't do that full time. Like I have bits and pieces of it, but I would say those are the days that like I leave the office or I slam the laptop closed and I'm like, wow, that was so cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think like the entrepreneur side's my favorite
Mhm.
part of it, of like being a small business owner,
Mhm.
essentially is what you are when you're a paid content creator and getting to just make your own schedule.
Yes,
Oh
for
gosh,
sure.
does that feel good on a day
Mhm.
to just be able to do whatever you want?
Yeah.
Like today.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then even like with the content creator side, sometimes it goes in and out,
Mhm.
but then when you get into it and I see your beautiful face at the studio and we're making content and we're what's the word? It's just you're creating something from your brain
Yeah.
and making it tangible. It's just you just can't beat it.
Yeah.
You just can't beat it.
It's that get to versus have to,
Yeah.
too. It's like, oh, I have to edit this video today. I
Yeah.
get to put my own creative spin on
Yeah.
something. I have to drive to Ann Arbor. I get to go drive,
Right.
have
I
maybe your nice.
actually brought a swimsuit because I was like, oh wait,
Nice.
I can go by the river before I
Yeah.
go because I love that spot.
Yeah, for sure. Listen to your music, whatever, have like some me time in the car.
Yeah.
And then I get to go hang out with my friend and make creations.
Right. And
like
help other people. And like
exactly.
there's so much on top of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Get there.
mindset. You
It
know,
is
it's
a big
just a
mindset.
mindset switch.
I will say something really personal and quick is that I realized for a good part of my life upbringing that my brain really easily went to the bad things that could happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's part of my
Yeah.
anxiety, maybe a little bit of like depressiveness in there.
Hmm.
But like going on a plane, it'd be like, what if, well, what if the plane
Yeah.
crashes? Like you hear about plane crashes.
Yeah.
I, throughout my whole life, and this ties in with like, I think maybe making the step to being a content creator. I guess I did think very positively about that. I was like, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
views, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna get all this, I'm gonna be able to make content.
Yeah.
But what if like the plane example, you said, what if I have the best flight of my life?
Right.
Your brain does not go to that so easily. I
Yeah.
think it is a thing you do have to train. At
Yeah.
least it is for me. And I don't know, things have been very unique. But I think as a content creator, you almost have to have that positive mindset
Yeah.
because you are kind of making things out of nothing.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Just as a little like tidbit too.
Yeah. All right. So what's your least favorite part of being a content creator?
Ooh, I would say the the unknown.
Yeah.
I would say the unknown. The you don't even on like videos that I just did, like speaking of like putting my heart into it and like loving it, I had this idea for a very artistic video.
Hmm.
I typically make funny stuff. And I knew I wasn't gonna do as good. It did not.
Yeah.
But I kid you not, I was bawling my eyes out. And I actually posted a way shortened down version. I
Uh-huh.
think I might want to submit one for like a short film contest or
Ooh.
something.
Yeah.
Just because like, I don't know, it's not like super produced, but I just feel like anyone watching it would cry
Yeah.
in joy slash emotion, just anything. And sure
Yeah.
enough, I didn't get that many comments,
Mm.
but the ones that I did were exactly what I was trying to get across.
Yeah.
And they got it
Right.
immediately.
Right.
And it was the shortened down version. So I was like, man,
Imagine if it was
I
the
can you imagine if I posted the 2 minute version versus the 46 second
Yeah.
or 50 second? Um, and the unknown slash the like sometimes like inconsistency that you can kind of expect is a little hard.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to handle. Um, but I think the joys outweigh
Yeah.
any kind of like negative unknown feeling that I would experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. There's lots of highs and lows in like
Which is kind of similar for business in general.
for
Again,
sure.
thinking in a small business sense,
Yes.
you become that
Yeah.
if you ever.
Highs and lows for financial. Like you gotta get a little this is not a salary job
Yep.
where your paycheck is the same every 2 weeks or every month or whatever. And I think that has really impacted my self-worth at times. Like I've really had to do a lot of work slash am still doing a lot of work on like my worth as a human is
Mhm.
not directly correlated to how much money I make or how many followers I
Per
get.
deal,
Exactly.
or per amount that you make on ads in a given
Yes.
month or something like that.
Exactly. It's like, first of all, you have to have value in yourself as a human outside of what you do. And this is for anybody, whether you're a carpenter, a content creator, or a cook, or whatever.
Not a C's.
Yeah, a
You
CEO.
thought of those on the top
I
end
know.
really well.
I know. But yeah, you do. You have to have, I'm worthy because I'm a great friend and a great family member and blah, 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 whatever. Okay.
Mhm.
But even that aside, even for like my profession, I know that like it's like cumulative, if you will. Like just because I have a bad month financially doesn't mean that all the stuff that I've created is now out the window and hasn't
Mhm.
helped people and hasn't had an impact over time, you know? So I have to always remind myself that because I can get down on myself about that. And I totally agree with what you just said about like, all of my favorite stuff does the worst. And I'm like, how
It
is,
cracks me up.
yeah,
It cracks me up that like that always is the case.
how is it possible that the same brain,
I
you
think 'cause it's
know,
too deep. I think it's too
yeah,
personal. Like that
yeah,
video, I really put myself in the sense of somebody just catching me off guard. And
yeah,
I'm like, that's a lot to invest in
mm,
to experience the video. And some people aren't ready for that kind of sadness. 'Cause,
yeah,
like they could have experienced. I made the video to be very like open-ended,
yeah,
but then some people experience sadness with it. Some
right,
people experience like joy tears, like
yeah,
happy tears. Then
yeah,
it comes. I think that's the stuff that if people watch it, it's a gift
yeah,
because it comes directly from our brain,
right,
like from our soul.
yep,
But yeah, it's like it's tricky.
yeah,
It's a bummer because you wish that like.
I
But I think
know,
sometimes that ends up like that's the things that have like their magic moments. It
yeah,
might not go viral. Sometimes they do.
uh-huh.
But
I just don't
um,
understand because for me as a consumer, I love like I follow people for the personal, and there are people who have big followings that just post very personal things. Like I don't know, I'm just thinking of
Yeah.
like the vloggers that I follow and things like that.
Why can't I be personal?
Yeah, like what is why don't you guys care about no, I'm just kidding. But I think there is also a lot of negative to like I'm thinking of one YouTuber in particular. Her
Yeah.
name's Estee Lalonde. She used to be called Essie Button. I followed her for years, for over a decade now. And like, you know, there was one video in particular where I remember she was like crying. She was traveling and she was just like crying and being like, thank you guys so much. Like you guys are the reason I get to see cool things like this. I don't know. She's on some mountain or
Yeah.
something. I don't remember where she was. But it very much like I loved it. I was like, wow, I feel like this is a win for us all. Like Essie Button got to like Switzerland or wherever the heck she was. But on the flip side, you know, she was in this long-term relationship that ended. And I think that was like, honestly, probably, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but probably pretty traumatic to have that end on camera, basically,
Right.
and to have people all in her personal life like that. So I think there's like, you take the good with the bad. And I say I want that, but I'm like, I probably don't actually want that. I probably don't actually
Honestly,
want people to care that much about my life.
yeah, I mean, now us having this like full circle moment of like, it's terrible. We can't be as personal. But wait,
Yeah.
because I will say exactly to your point, if you give that piece of yourself, then that's a lot to give
Yeah.
to people that don't see you day in day out or
Yeah.
talk to you frequently or like know you personally.
Yeah.
It is a lot to give that part of your self, your soul.
Can I say something else also?
No.
I'm sorry, this question's getting long. But I actually just thought of my actual least favorite part of being a content creator.
Ooh.
My least favorite part of being a content creator is like the parasocial side of it with real life people. And what I mean by that is I feel very grateful because you are not like this.
Yeah.
I would say a large percentage of people who know me in my real life cannot separate Latasha the character
Mm-hmm.
from Latasha the human.
Yeah.
And I mean this by most of my friends. Like when Rye walked in, you were like, how's life? How was your trip? Blah blah blah. We
Mhm.
had like there are going to be things that I'm going to tell you that I'm not telling this camera.
Yeah.
Just because not that I'm lying to you guys or trying to hide things from you, but just
No.
cuz like, you know, they're still new. I'm still figuring it out. I was
Right.
like, what do I do about
If you
this
just came
relationship?
across our
Like,
video, that's a
yeah.
lot to invest in. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm not gonna ask like yeah, there are other people involved, right? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna spill everybody else's business, you know. I have most of my friends and even some of my family, they don't ask me how I am.
Yeah.
They watch my YouTube videos and they think that's the
She's
update.
great.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not, I didn't tell you about the emotional breakdown I just had the other night
Yeah.
because whatever, you know, I went through this thing or my flight got delayed or whatever, you know. And so that is actually the thing that bothers me the most
Yeah.
is I think, and I wonder if like celebrities deal with that. Like, do you think the Kardashians, do you think people watch their show and think, oh, I got the update on Kim's life? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea they try to get across.
Mm-hmm.
But I can guarantee you, we don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know them at all.
No, that's like
We've kept
the
up with them
1% of their
at
life,
the very
if that.
surface level
Yep.
that we can possibly say. That's why I mean, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love everyone that comes to say hi to me.
Yeah.
Say it. But let me tell you, everyone says pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Which means everyone's kind of in that same knowing
Yeah.
about me.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll talk about Detroit stuff. They'll bring up a specific piece of content.
Yep.
And like we'll talk about Michigan stuff. And that's what I love is because like with Michiganders, I can get deeper.
Yeah.
Or people that know it. Cause like versus like if I met someone from California,
Right.
they'd be like, I love your videos are so funny. That's about as far as it
Yeah.
will go.
Yeah. Yeah.
People will be like, your video's so funny. Oh, you went to Frankfurt. I went to Frankfurt, Michigan, and my family goes there. Like, there's like,
Yeah.
we can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
So we actually do get a bit deeper. But yeah, you're more personal
Yeah.
with like your lifestyle vlogs and things like
Yeah.
that to where I can see somebody thinking it's like keeping up with Latasha.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is. And again, I just want to stress to my viewers,
is,
like, I'm not
but-
like lying, but like,
No.
yeah, like for divorce thing, right? I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, I got divorced and also I have a new boyfriend the next day. Like there's like time jumps, there's
Mhm.
like timing that's involved that people don't understand. There's nuance to things. Maybe I'm seeing somebody, but I'm not engaged to them, you know, and so I'm not gonna like say it to YouTube, but then
Yeah.
my friends, like it's like
Do
you
you
just
think people
yeah.
expect it of you though? Because I don't think people expect anything of me personally, really.
I don't know. I just think
Deep
some
down.
people think that maybe if I say, I don't know, yeah, I think they think I'm being 100% like transparent to YouTube. I think that's what like a lot of my friends and family think. And they think if I say, "Oh, I'm going to hang out with my friend," that literally means I'm going to hang out with like versus, "Oh, I'm going," like I don't know. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they
It gets a
don't.
little more complicated.
Yeah.
I think because you are from the era of like Emma Chamberlain. I brought her up a
Mhm.
couple times, but you're from that era.
Yeah.
Like you came up in that era
Yeah.
a little bit of the very personal YouTuber
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
This is me, like
Mhm.
kind of situation.
Yeah.
Versus I think I started off as a character in the scheme
Yeah.
of things. I'm showing my real life, like I'm traveling to these places and I'm doing
Right.
videos in. Like I just went to Japan. I literally
Right.
showed my life in Japan.
Yep.
Um, but at the core of it, I was a character to boot.
Yep. Taboo. That was very Michigan of
I
you.
know, I know. I
Taboot.
love. When I knew I was gonna say the word, I was like, I love saying a strong Midwest accent sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's something that people be able to think about too. Of like, how are you gonna approach your content? Are you gonna
Mhm.
be how personal
Yeah.
do you want to get?
Yeah.
So speaking of things that are more like personal, is there anything that like is there a spot where you draw the line in terms of making content? And maybe that's creatively too, in
Mhm.
addition to personally, speaking of like
Yeah.
ties with your actual life.
So I guess I'll start there because that's kind of what we were talking about
Yeah.
is like for me and again, this is what maybe my friends and family don't understand is I've never like dated on the internet. We
Yeah.
did a whole episode kind of talking about this too.
Hmm.
But like yeah, I've always just like been in relationships where I was living with a partner and so I kind of had to be like this is my boyfriend because he lives
Yeah,
here
you're recording at
or my
home,
husband.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this
Yeah.
random person that is in all the videos.
Yes. And so for me in this like new season of being divorced and like dating but not being like married, right? That is where I kind of have drawn the line is like I don't want to introduce anybody to my YouTube channel until we pretty much are like engaged, honestly. I think that's or like living together, but I honestly don't want to live with somebody until I'm kind of
Yeah.
like engaged. No, that whatever. But
You're
so
thinking about that
like
stuff.
very serious. Like just
Yeah.
because it is very hard to now to backtrack and go through breakups online
Yeah.
and all that. And it's just other people are involved, right? I'm 34. That means I'm dating 34-year-old men and older. They're not trying to be influencers, okay?
You're
Like
like, what?
yeah, so for me it's like I'm keeping
What
like
do you
that
do?
part of my life private while still wanting to share because I do also I find a lot of I find it very helpful to learn from other creators who have gotten divorced or who are restarting their lives or who are dating after divorce or finding love after divorce. Like I find those pieces of content helpful.
Hmm.
That's what I believe this is why I'm doing this is to help people. So I do want to share, but it's like the specifics I'm going to keep to my chest a little bit until I can share the full story, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, it really does.
Like
Like
hopefully maybe someday I'll be like,
you're
"Hey,
like,
you
I
guys,
need
here's a
some
video."
commitment before
Yeah.
you're appearing in like, because like I can't
Yeah.
keep like you want to keep things good. People like consistency, and we talk about it from like a posting point of view. But
Yes.
I think people do like a consistent. You're consistently you, and
Mhm.
if that involves like bringing someone in to your
Yeah.
life, like you want to make sure they're going to be maybe
Yeah.
more consistent too. I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll get the full story when I'm engaged. Like that's how you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when I make that video, I'm like, okay, I'm getting married after divorce. Now here's everything I went through. Let me catch you up to speed on those past few years,
I don't. Yeah, I don't think my husband Paul was in a video until like 3 years in.
Yeah.
And we were already pretty much
Yeah.
married at that point. He didn't really want to be,
Yeah.
and nor did he really have to per se.
Yep.
But and like I said, like I don't really have that personal connection, like
Mm-mm.
with like sharing lifestyle videos or anything like that.
Yeah.
Things are more skits. But I think it's still again consistency thing. Let's say he like I don't know how the couples do it. Could you ever date a creator?
No. I don't
I
want
don't
to.
know. I do not know how anyone would do that. Like handling business.
I know.
Like me and you, let's say we're a married couple. Like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I'm so tired today. Hey, you didn't post that video yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like get up, hey, morning.
Hey, we're
Yeah. And I'm
like,
like feeling
good
terrible.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then like the public breakup of it all.
Yep.
Like I've seen that, we've seen that because we grew up in the age of like
Yeah.
YouTubers doing that from the start, or just even like content creators. A lot of gay couples do it. There's a lot of gay couple creators that
Yeah.
have their own account. But I would say like if you are somebody maybe who's in a similar space, I guess, or like if you're dating somebody, not even that, or just like if you have ever thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
just make sure from a strategy point of view, you're building up your own too. Maybe you're making it with
Mm-hmm.
your friend.
Yeah.
Me and Latasha both have our own individual
Right.
accounts on top of a joint one.
Right.
My favorite example of this is Twink and a Redhead.
Uh-huh.
They're this duo friends from New York.
Okay.
Their main account has like 700,000 followers.
Yeah.
It's huge. They get amazing views on it. And whenever they're together, it's magical.
Yeah.
But they've very much started to promote themselves
Yeah.
individually, which I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Because you can't always rely on, unless I guess you're married, I guess maybe that helps. But even
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
not
Marriage
really.
isn't.
Yeah,
But,
you're right.
yeah.
Um,
But more secure. Yeah.
more secure. Yeah.
You're gonna
So,
talk about it. Like if you're not just gonna randomly get divorced and not talk about it. Like,
right.
so it's a little more
Um,
understandable.
a
But you
little
might
bit more
randomly break up
understandable.
with someone or stop seeing someone,
Yes.
and I think people don't understand that either, that everything's not so dramatic. Like it's not like it doesn't some things don't need to be addressed. Sometimes you just went out
No.
on a few dates with somebody and then like it
They're
fizzled
gone.
out. It's not like, oh my God, like
Hey guys.
yeah.
So
Let's have a sit
I
down.
went on a couple dates with Mark.
Yeah.
And like yeah,
He's cut.
he's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
He is done. Yeah, it's not that serious sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's not worth a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sometimes like with my personal life, if I showed you my day to day, some days of me just sitting in my living room
Yeah.
table working with Big Brother on the background, like you don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch that, but you do want to watch a funny skit maybe that I thought of and put some energy into.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We didn't realize we would talk this long. Story of our lives. So we're gonna do part 2 of
Yeah.
Content Creator Confessions next week or whenever the next episode comes out.
Tune in.
So yeah, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions for us as well. These are fun episodes.
Maybe we can do more because I feel like it's more colorful conversation. Like
Yeah.
not to say our other ones don't have a lot of like good stuff in them. It's just nice kind of bouncing around
Yeah.
sometimes with different topics.
For sure. So if you have any questions you want us to answer, leave them in the comments and come back for part 2.
Yeah. Talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.